Do you ever have that feeling, and I know I'm saying this to a bunch of Minecraft players, so probably you do, but do you ever have that feeling that you've bitten off more than you can chew? Well, I kind of have that feeling. I am kind of suffering with that feeling right now, my friends. It has been 1,000 Skeletal Wolves, 1,000 runs of the Lost Crypt dungeon. I have the stats to prove it. All the way down here, you'll notice, I have killed 1,000 Skeletal Wolves, never been killed by them, personal point of pride for me. Not only that, but I have also killed over 4,700 skeletons and almost 2,000 spiders. And been killed by spiders twice, but we don't talk about that. And I still do not have the Skeletal Wolf mount. If you've been following this over on Twitch, I've basically been streaming from Misadventures every Tuesday, Thursday, and alternating Sundays, and we've just been running Lost Crypt. We've just been trying to get the Skeletal Wolf mount so I can finally have some closure from the last episode where I said I was going to get every mount available to us. And as of right now, I have not yet done that. I was going to say failed, but I do not consider this a failure, at least not yet, because there is still every chance that we will get hold of it. Shovel has since gotten her Skeletal Wolf. Mythical Sausage has had his for a while. I am certain that ours is out there just waiting for us to claim it. But in the meantime, I've really got to get my button gear and do some stuff on Misadventures because this is literally all I've been doing and it's kind of killing me. But I feel while we're dwelling on this, it is worth looking at the plus sides. Let's look at what we got from running that dungeon 1,000 times. First of all, I got an absurd amount of bones, and this is not even half of what I had before I basically gave my entire stock of bone blocks to Cambam. He was working on a thing. I didn't ask questions. I just needed a way to get rid of all of the bones because they were taking up far too much room in my storage, and so I said, yep, have every single bone block I have. And then Rendog logged in shortly afterwards and said, hey, you got any bones? And I was like, my dude, I have literally just given all of them away. So I've been stockpiling bone blocks in the meantime. I don't have any particular designs on them, but bone meal is one of those things that's really nice to have in large quantities, so if we need it for the future, we've got it. It's a nest egg of bone meal. Speaking of nest eggs, take a quick look at what else I have in here, namely over 100 enchanted golden apples. You get these in ones and very, very rarely twos. I think they may have even patched those out now, but you get the occasional enchanted golden apple from the loot chest as you run Lost Crypt. You also get ones and twos of diamonds. So I now have 31 blocks of diamonds, or if you wanted to take those back into Lost Crypt, 31 shulker boxes. I have enough shulker boxes to fill an ender chest if we had access to those, but as of right now we don't because no blaze powder. But anyway, I have 31 blocks of diamond and change, so plenty of stuff we can do with diamonds if the need arises. Most of all, though, I have enchanted books. We have a lot of these, and a lot of them are very, very good enchantments. After a while, I just started leaving all of the ones that are like, you know, tier 1 or 2 of a 5-tier enchantment. So I have a lot of looting 3, I have a lot of protection 4, I have a lot of the more powerful enchantments, including some that I have tested out. We tried out necromancy, it summons skeletons. Necromancy 5 is the highest tier, so you get 5 skeletons if you kill something. I was thinking maybe we should just leave that off of my unholy paladin sword for now, so that, unfortunately, after a server update, got reverted. We don't have necromancy on there anymore, but I'm actually kind of thankful for that. But I have a lot of different enchanted books. I have over here, because I was keeping them separate, an entire chest of mending books that we got from Lost Crypt, so if ever I get some more diamond gear, I will very happily put mending on it. We also got a few stragglers here and there, but I have basically 2 double chests and an entire chest over there of enchanted books. I got a bunch of armor as well, because we have all of the warrior armor from killing the skeletal warrior over and over again. Eventually, I just started leaving that in the dungeon, because there's no way I'm going to use all of it, but for now, it does make some nifty little decorations here in the Sky Pirate Roost. The biggest change, though, is right there above my hotbar, above the armor. You will notice that my balance of coins is frankly absurd at this stage. I don't know if I am the richest person on the server by present day wealth. I imagine a few other people have been doing some pretty big stuff, and I know Avid got a ton of gold from the goat quest that did not take me nearly as long as it took him. So I feel like now I am kind of dealing with the karma of that, and what goes around comes around. It's taken us so long to get hold of the Skeletal Wolf, but in the meantime, I have acquired enough coins to buy the entirety of the Hawthorne Valley. And yes, I know I'm still pronouncing that wrong. It sounds like the word Hawthorne in English. That's sort of the way I'm going with it anyway. But we have this beautiful landscape surrounded by mountains. What a picturesque place it is. And I want to start doing stuff not just on the ground, but in the sky. In fact, primarily in the sky is where I have my sights right now. So we are going to purchase this land and look at that balance of coins one last time, because it is not going to be there for much longer. This land is currently for sale for 85,000 coins. So if I do /land purchase, like so, I have now purchased Jotunberg. Jotunberg being the name of the mountain over here, but all of the land around here is now mine. I can start placing blocks. Oh, I can do whatever I want with it. This entire mountain is included in that. It's actually a massive area on the map. It begins back up here and it ends somewhere down here, I think. So this whole green area here is mine. I think some of the mountains might fall under my jurisdiction, but as you can see down here, Mythical Sausages, Riverwood Hamlet has connected to this area, so we might end up buying a few extra parcels of land where I need them to forge connections to the surroundings and make sure that this road that the lovely Road Builders Guild has been working on continues into the areas around here. The roads past the Lost Crypt, which I've been spending a lot of time in, obviously, are continuing in this direction, and there are lots and lots of people building bases out beyond the beaten paths themselves, and I need to connect myself to those paths. But first of all, I need some stuff to connect to. So I think I'm going to spend a little bit more time in this video figuring out what we're going to build in this area. And luckily enough, I have had some time that I can work on some designs. Although the first thing I'm going to do is take down some of the half broken down trees that are around here, because this one, as I was trying to get a little bit more dark oak wood to do more on the interior of my Sky Pirate Roost, this tree ended up growing over the boundary of where the Sky Pirate Roost is, and so those last few logs I couldn't actually erase until I'd purchased the land. Fortunately though, the land is now mine. I can wait for those saplings to drop and clear out some of the other trees if they annoy me. Speaking of the Sky Pirate Roost, minor update to talk about here. Nothing major has happened inside of here yet, because mostly I've been using it for storage for my Lost Crypt adventures, but I have been experimenting with some of the new paintings that are in 1.21. I love those so much. We obviously have a little bit of decor going in here, and I've started to use something I never get to use because cartography tables can't normally be rotated, meaning you have to build in a very specific angle in order to take advantage of the fact that if you look at these two faces of the cartography table, it's a vertically oriented dark oak plank with nothing else adorning it. It does have one little row of lighter pixels there, but I think that actually transitions really nicely into spruce wood, so maybe we can do something more with that. But either way, really nice to be able to use those purely by accident, because the Sky Pirate Roost faces in the direction that it does. And of course, from the other side, you're seeing a cartography table texture, but I will probably do something to cover that up. You can cover that with trapdoors or paintings or even other blocks or whatever you want, really. It even makes sense that a cartography table would be part of the decor here, considering that they are Sky Pirates, so they're going to be making maps of the places they've been and the places they want to go. So exciting as it's been running the Lost Crypt over and over again and returning here only to gaze at the tropical fish in my fish tank, I think we need to do something else. And with my sights set on the area around here, now that we finally own all of this territory, it's time for the Hawthorne Valley to get a bit of an upgrade. And there it is, my friends, the beginning of a long-awaited Sky City, and very much still the beginning, because we have a lot of work to do. That building isn't even finished. I just like the facade of it so much, but I still haven't done the back wall, because I'm planning to attach other stuff to it, and have this be this kind of nested build that occupies a special place above the land of this valley that I now own. And I have a bunch more stuff that I want to get to, but in the meantime, I have some incredibly exciting news, because after all of my attempts at the Lost Crypt, I have been doing bits and pieces on stream here and there, as well as mixing in stuff from the Minecraft Survival Guide, and I did go back to Lost Crypt a couple of times. On one particular occasion, I thought we were going to be there for a full 3-hour session, but it was not to be, as you will see when you watch this clip. Once again, folks, if you're unfamiliar with this is the Lost Crypt on the Misadventures server. There is a Skeletal Wolf in a side room in here who you have to defeat in order to acquire a Skeletal Wolf mount with odds of 1 in 1,000 that the wolf mount drops. We check the Oracle Tomb at the beginning of the dungeon there to check which of the... I think there are maybe 10 or possibly 12 tombs in the final room can contain the lever that lets us out of the dungeon. And then we run down here, we kill the skeleton guarding this crypt over here, and then we turn around and this is the Skeletal Wolf, which... First try! First try! No way, dude! What just happened? Hello? That was our first attempt! First attempt this stream, 1,216. You were here. The stream has only just started. We've got like half the normal audience here. It's over. It's over. We've done it. Immediately. Look at his smiley little face. Oh, chat. We've done it. I don't know what to do with the rest of the stream now. We've done it. I need to send this to the people in the Discord. How has that happened? Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Run the new dungeon? I don't know how. I don't know where it is. I don't know what to do. Apparently there's some kind of secret to get into it. I don't want spoilers from chat, so please don't tell me what it is or where it is. Now all we have to do is leave. What am I going to name it? I'm not. I'm going to put it up on the wall and never speak of this again. How have we done that? That's right. Now on Pride of Place, up here on my wall of mounts, we have our skeletal dog at long last. Well, skeletal wolf. I keep calling it a dog. It is a wolf, I suppose. Now we have every mount in the game as I wanted to for the last video, and thank goodness I didn't delay the last video until I'd got all of them, because it would have taken until now to come out. Of course, this one has taken even longer, and I really shouldn't have left it this long, but what are you going to do? I was on a bit of a quest. I was very single-minded about this, and I only just managed to get some other stuff built on this server. So we have an entire Sky Pirate Roost to decorate. We have even more stuff to get to up there in the sky, and I have an awful lot of stuff. Let me unpack some of the other stuff that I've got recently from Lost Crypt. Like, for example, a huge number of books. I have a ridiculous repository of enchanted books, of very specific enchantments. After a while, I was only saving the top tier enchantments, things like Protection 4, Looting 3, Fortune 3, Mending, Infinity, all of the stuff that I know I will need in perpetuity, especially when I start getting my hands on some diamond gear, because yes, I was still running the Lost Crypt with only iron weapons and iron armor, give or take the axe, which I had because it had Bane of Arthropods, but overall, I think it's been a spectacular run. I got myself a whole lot of diamonds. That could get me 38 shulker boxes from Lost Crypt, and I have almost 2 stacks of enchanted golden apples. And despite having given Cambam, I think, nearly a full chest of bone blocks, I have nearly a full chest of bone blocks left over. So I have a whole lot of stuff that I can start building with, start growing stuff with, any amount of stuff, all thanks to the Lost Crypt dungeon. And what a dungeon it is. The other cool thing, which I haven't covered quite yet, is that while I was doing this ridiculous Lost Crypt raiding thing, the admins have added achievements, or advancements I suppose, for the dungeons, including obtaining all of the rats as an advancement, considering that I've already done that. I think it's quite funny that I have a whole bunch of these now. In fact, if I pop those off the wall right now, will it give me the advancement for having obtained those? I'm actually kind of curious to see if it will do that, because all I needed to do to get the advancement for the Skeletal Wolf mount was pick it up. So let's see if this will give me that. Yes, there we go. Hey. And an incredibly confusing mix of sound effects occurred thereafter. Do I also get one for the goat? No. The sheep? No. And probably not the horse either. No, these are the ones that feel like you grind for them and you get them. And these are the ones that felt like an achievement because there was a bit of a puzzle involved. Well, there was a bit of a puzzle for the goat one too, I guess, and a lot of people had to rebuild their reputation for Molly Shepherd. But either way, I'm so happy that we have those now, and to continue a look at these advancements, there is also now advancements for the individual tasks that you can do inside Lost Crypt, and I have avoided those entirely because I was single-mindedly going after the Skeletal Wolf. So we have a reason to go back to Lost Crypt, if only one reason. There is also this. There is a music disc that is now crafted from fragments found in the Lost Crypt, and that's something I didn't know about, and something I have not found in any of my raids on the chests. Maybe they are in specific chests in specific rooms, or maybe you obtain them through decorated pots or something like that. Something that I haven't interacted with since that was added, but that's new. And so maybe, even though I feel like I should have sworn myself off that place at this point, I may have reason to return to the Lost Crypt in the near future. But in the meantime, even more stuff has been happening around the server. I took a bit of a tour on my stream after we got the Skeletal Wolf mount, and I continued exploring some of the other areas that are out there. I have a lot more experience with this map now, but there is something new hatching somewhere, I think, over here, because I went down this path here, and that led me to a quest that I found that involves an NPC and a book that explains a little bit more about some stuff, and it seems like another dungeon has been brewing in the background. The admins have got some stuff started up in the meantime while I've been running the Lost Crypt, and I'm very excited to check that out. But we're going to do that in the next episode. In fact, Shelby is online right now, and I'm pretty sure that me, Fwip, and Shelby were all headed towards that dungeon for the next adventure. So I'm going to say goodbye for now from Misadventures, and I hope you've enjoyed how ridiculous this all came together in the end, but I think this all made for a pretty ridiculous video nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching. My name has been Pixlriffs. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you folks soon. Take care. Bye for now.